Right, on the agenda today, I've got one topic that I'm going to get into straight away that I think there's a story to add to it and we'll move in the right directions with it, and then I'm going to let it flow afterwards. But what I want to start with is a personal account of a lady situation. And I'm going to start with this because as someone who has a very, very vivid understanding of how frightening it can be to approach women and actually like ask someone out, that was a fear that I at least took one step towards conquering this morning.
Oh, really?
So, for context,
okay.
I was at work. There's a girl who's just started at work. Very nice. We get along very well, actually. And, I mean, to add to said context, if you're someone who I can talk to about the invasion of Iraq and conspiracy theories, you and I are probably going to get along. You know, it's not exactly the most. It's not exactly the most normal of topics. So we get along really well on that, and there was some sort of flirtatious elements that had started to be popping up. She asked me if I had a girlfriend for one, which I was quite interested in that, and I'd been sort of mulling it over in my head for the last sort of week or so of whether she's just being polite or whether she's interested. And I thought yesterday, she said to me yesterday, she said, I'm trying to think of something to do on Friday. I don't know what to do. And I didn't say anything really to that because I've sort of been consistently wrangling with this idea of, is she just being polite or is she interested? And today I thought, if I don't at least ask her, like, what are you doing on Friday then? Have you thought about what you're going to do? I'm going to feel so fucking shit.
Because that's a hint from her, do you reckon?
Well, my thing was, I thought I would rather have taken it wrong and you know, she said, oh, actually, I'm not, you know, I was just being polite, than me go home today and think, fuck, have I let it go? You know, is she now going to go, well, I sort of dropped a hint there and he didn't say anything, he's obviously not interested. I thought, I can't go away from today without at least trying to ask, because if I do...
So that was this morning?
That was this morning.
Okay.
I'm going to feel so shit if I don't at least try.
Okay.
So I did. I said to her, so have you thought about what you're going to do on Friday then? And she said she was busy, and I said, oh, I was just, if you were... You know, I was going to say if you wanted to, go out for a coffee or something. And she said that she was going out with her mum. Now, the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because, as I say, as someone who has a really deep understanding of just how frightening this is, I just wanted to make the point of exactly what it was that spurred me to do it. And that is, when you really want to do something, so when something's important to you and you know that you might be scared, but something's important and you want to ask that girl out or go and whatever it is that scares you, this quite consistently for men, it is going and talking to women. If you take it from the perspective of, if I don't do this, I'm going to feel a whole lot worse than if I get rejected, then that's really powerful. And what I came away from today realising was, irrespective of whether she might have been making an excuse or genuinely is busy, I have the respect of myself for trying. And I think that's something that I'm proud of, and I would like more people to know that that feeling is there, because, as I say, if I'd come away today without at least trying, I would have beaten myself up for the next 2 weeks, because I won't see her again for another few weeks now because I won't be at work, and I would have felt shit. I would have felt like I'd yet again just pandered to my weaknesses and not at least given it a go. And there's a wonderful feeling in knowing that even though you were scared, you still tried. And I would like people to know, just to voice the fact that even when you're scared, if you can sort of frame it against something else and go, well, I might be scared, but I'm going to feel so fucking awful if I don't at least try. That's a really helpful way of getting over some of your fears. And I mean, in a funny way as well, I'm going to attach to this that a motivator is quite a good idea for this, because I said to like 3 or 4 people yesterday, I'm going to ask tomorrow, which held me accountable for one. And then I thought, right, the boy's coming on the podcast today, let me open with that. Let me use that, however it plays out, as an opening gambit, which gave me a sense of, if I don't ask someone, you know, I'm seeing the people that I said to yesterday, the people I said I'm going to ask, I'm seeing them tonight because I'm going to work. So they will ask me, did you ask? And I thought, if I come in and I haven't, I'm going to feel so shit. And if I come into the podcast without having asked, the only thing I'm going to be able to think about is, oh, I didn't ask.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think that's good that you've managed to do that, because I think a lot of people just don't, and then they just wait for it to happen, and then it might happen, it might not. And then if you're... I mean, she might be watching this podcast and knowing exactly how you feel.
She does ask about the podcast.
Oh, does she? So she'll just tune in, maybe.
Well, if she does, then...
There you go, she knows exactly how you feel.
Yeah, I'm by no means bothered to make it obvious.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, no, that's nice. As, yeah, she's probably... Because I think at first when she said... I mean, I don't know girl language that much either, but they might just say, oh, I'm not doing anything Friday, hinting hopefully you'd say it straight away.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I think it's quite good that you let her think, and then you messaged her saying...
Oh, I didn't message her.
Text.
I said it to her.
Oh, you said it, so you waited?
I saw her this morning.
Yeah, so, okay, that's fine. And either way, you didn't answer, like, straight away. So it might make you think, like, you were thinking about it, and then she's thinking, oh, he might be thinking about it. And then probably when you did tell her, she was probably quite happy.
Yeah.
But then it's weird that she did then say, I'm busy, but...
Yeah. Which
I don't know what she was getting at there, but...
Well, this is the funny thing that I said to my mum. I have been. It's been the thing I've been thinking about this morning. Yeah. That it's funny with in the context of the fact that I feel rejected, but then you go on to talk for another 2 hours about the deepest of conversations that we were pretty deep in conversation today, and then like just general interest, like saying, oh, so what are you doing on the weekend? What you got planned for the rest of the day? And I said to Mum, I can't help but feel, I may well be reading absurdly between the lines here, but I can't help but feel that if someone had rejected because they'd found lied because they didn't want to see you, that you'd then feel awkward and that you wouldn't be able to talk to someone as fluidly for another 2 hours, as though like it was, oh no, I'm seeing my mum, oh all right, fair enough, conversation carried on. No, I feel like if there was a flat-out rejection there, that you would have felt like a stop in the conversation.
But if it was carrying on, then...
Well, that's it. And I think my perspective on this is, I don't want the emphasis to be placed so much on the result, because fuck knows what's going on there. I don't know whether maybe she's just being polite or whether she's interested but apprehensive. I don't know. And she's well within, in case she is listening, well within her realm of sort of her person to say and do as she pleases. So I don't want to sort of make that the point. The point I'd like to sort of just have there is how nice it feels to just have a weight off your chest. Like if I had come away without trying, it would have sat on me, and the anxiety of doing it is now gone.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have to worry about that anymore because I've done it. And as a result of that, it means the next time with whoever it is that this same sort of climate comes about, it'll be easier to do it. It's a practice, it's a rep, and it just gets rid of... There's something Chris Williamson was talking about, of the amount of times we have some form of sort of discomfort in our lives that, had we just done it and got it out the way, would have not been anywhere near as uncomfortable as it is. It's so consistent. Like, let's put it into a disciplinary perspective. If you take a cold shower or you've got a workout or something like that coming up, if you do it at the start of the day, it's done. You don't have to think about it anymore. If you don't do it in the morning because you've gone, oh, I really don't want to do it, I'm not going to do it, and then it gets to 6 o'clock and you spent all day thinking, fuck's sake, I've still got to do that, you could have got rid of all of that anxiety, all of that discomfort of knowing it's still coming, if you just did it. And that was the thing. That was the thing I was thinking about. I thought, I need to get this away from me, because if I don't, it's going to make me feel even worse about this than I already do. And I am sensitive to this topic because I do find it hard. I find confidence something that I have to work for, not something I'm given. So having a rep is nice. And I mean this in no arrogance at all, quite the contrary actually, that if I'm not at all toward the point of conquering this anxiety, by no means, but today I have. And as a result of that, I would like to make the point, because I'm sure there's plenty of people, including myself, that feel like maybe other people can do it, but I can't. Like, I'm not going to be able to jump that hurdle. I'm fucking terrified of women. Like, and I will not. I won't hide that. I am intimidated.
But you're not. I don't think you're alone at all.
No, that's why I wanted to say it.